Paul Rodriguez Show. Got some new stuff for you. As soon as this beat drops, we're going to go ahead and get things started. Listen to it. All right, ladies, let's get things going. James, producer James, back in the mix. I kind of missed the drop there, but it was all good. I think I was talking over it, but it was coming in. Drop a like, everybody, if y'all enjoy the new mix. We got some new stuff coming, music-wise. Something that we teased yesterday with shout out to Edward Fernandez in his video with the what are we calling him? The Ultimate Madden Champ.
Greatest Madden champ that ever lived, or
Greatest,
something like that.
Was that what the title is? Well, we got that video mocked up. It's ready to go. We're gonna drop it tonight. You're just gonna have to wait around to figure out when we're gonna drop it. So stay tuned. We'll be here for about an hour, maybe hour 15, depending on how things go, because that video is it's quite entertaining. And yes, yours truly makes a cameo appearance. You just really can see the back of my head. But if you look really, really close through one of the transitions, one of the little, it's not even a transition, it's more like just a pan, right? Quick pan. You have to like freeze frame it because you won't see me. Lighting is an issue in that one. But shout out Edward giving us permission to use that video. 12 years in the making, right?
Yeah, I still can't figure out if you won or lost that game.
Did I? I lost that game. But James, I'm gonna tell you, shout out King Kalunga, brother. We miss you. We're praying for you. I heard things are going well for you right now. But I always played with the Chargers because this is back when LaDainian was, doing this thing with Phillip Rivers in San Diego, and John always used the Falcons, or he used sometimes the Houston Texans, because I think Vince Young, or Tennessee, because Vince Young was on with Tennessee at the time. But big show tonight. A more Houston Texans debacle going on. They're just like purging talent left and right. They're not really adding anybody. They're trying to do everything they power to keep Deshaun, but in fact, it's like doing the opposite. It's kind of pushing Deshaun further and further away. Nothing new there. Just another cesspool. Guys just really can't get things going on their own. Next, I think we got some big news out of recruiting. I didn't know if I wanted to touch on that now, but some big news going on there. 2 big-time Power 5, 1 commitment and 1 humongous offer from a former national champion to one of the Austin kids. Is that a surprise to you, James, or is that just kind of business as usual for them?
For who?
For the Austin area, just getting these big commitments, Power 5 schools.
You know these schools more than I do. I'm still learning the ropes.
Business as usual from my point of view. But yes, and again, we're gonna touch on a little NBA. I don't really watch the NBA until the playoffs, but it looks like people are trying to gain momentum to potentially change the NBA logo, giving a shout out or paying homage to Mr. Kobe Bryant. Touch on that, just a dabble, just because I'm not very versed in that topic too much. But ending up the show, we're going to definitely talk about how things are going in the boxing community and in the UFC. Lots of big events this weekend. I know Canelo's fighting a guy, I can't pronounce his name, and it probably doesn't matter because he's going to knock him out anyways. And we'll touch on that, as well as the UFC free card tomorrow on ESPN Plus. It's not technically free. So if you pay for ESPN Plus, you'll be able to watch that show tomorrow. But I'm excited for it. I mean, last week, dude, did you watch that UFC main event with Black Beast out of H-Town?
I did not.
Bro, that he was fighting, we're talking about, it's Derek Johnson, right?
Derek Lewis.
Excuse me, Mr. Lewis, because I seen what you do to 6'4" grown-ass men in the octagon by knocking them out with haymakers. But he was fighting the number 2 overall heavyweight last week, and I was looking at the odds. I was kind of looking at the bets, and Lewis, Black Beast Lewis, was a plus 350 underdog. So that means if you'd have bet 100, you'd have made 350 plus your 100 back. And I was just like, dude, this is getting nuts. And
unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Derek Lewis.
Why? What the hell's wrong with you?
He's not what everyone makes him out to be. He is so overrated, dude.
What the hell? Okay, explain.
So he called out Alistair. He does have like one of the most knockouts, like in the heavyweight.
After that fight, he has the most heavyweight knockouts. I think he tied Cain Velasquez.
Okay. He is good for that one punch, but I mean, when you fight like an elite,
like an elite grappler wrestler, like what was it? Somebody helped me out with his name last week. I'm gonna look it up while James is trying to prove his point. That's probably gonna fall on deaf ears.
he called out Alistair Overeem after the fight. He said he wants to fight Alistair Overeem. Alistair Overeem has already said he's gonna retire, and he was like, "No, you have more left in the tank." He said, I still want to clap them cheeks. And it's like, bro, Alistair Overeem is well past his prime. Yes, he is a legend of the sport. It will add on a name to your resume, but it's not shit. Like, for fans that, like, know the shit, like, at this point in your career, knocking out Alistair Overeem isn't shit. It just, I don't know. He's just...
Maybe it's just that maybe Lewis was looking up to him while he was coming up, and he just wants to have a good battle as a nostalgic match for him and Overeem. Don't you think, like, have you entertained that thought?
No.
Come on, man. Think outside the box now. Anyway, shout out to Lewis. He tied Cain Velasquez with the most heavyweight knockouts in UFC history.
I do appreciate his post-fight interviews.
Bro, that line when he dropped,
my balls is hot.
When Joe Rogan's like, Derek, why'd you take off your shorts?
My balls is hot.
I was like, bro. I was like, I understand. That's what Joe's like. I understand. I mean, it is what it is. But the dude's from Houston, Texas, so it is fun to see him kind of represent. And he doesn't care, man. He bangs Houston screw when he's coming into. If y'all don't know what that is, that's okay. But for the old guys like us, when I was in high school, I think James still listens to it. Yeah. But you know, I remember being 18, listening to South Padre when I was on South Padre Island in spring break my senior year. That's all that was playing in the tape deck. That's when we had tapes, y'all, not CDs, tapes, like cassette tapes.
He came out to that Mo City Done by Zero.
Yeah, that's an old school song too. That's really old that's what probably
that's a Houston classic.
99, 98.
Yeah,
probably around that old.
Yeah, yeah,
it's old. All right, folks, we're gonna go ahead. It's 14 minutes after the hour. Like I said, coming up we have the big two offers that kind of came in. There's a couple of more that are in the mix. We'll dabble with Kobe Bryant maybe taking over as the new logo. And there was a cool kind of image that they kind of put up. Maybe that's one thing that we'll work on too, is starting to bring up some images. But we do have a video that's mocked up that's pretty entertaining, pretty funny, very satirical. And I'm looking forward to it. I want to see how y'all's reaction would be whenever y'all do see it. And then we're going to go ahead and touch on a little bit of the UFC fights that are coming up, as well as Canelo. But once we come back, we'll touch on the high school sports, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what's going on in Houston, because maybe they need to take off their shorts because it's too hot right now in Houston for everybody, because they're just purging talent left and right.
Think their balls is hot?
No. We're gonna, you know what we're gonna have to do? We're gonna have to find when the summer comes, we're gonna have to like let you do that and add it to the bed as a hotkey. So when everybody be like, damn, it's too hot, and then you would just hit that button and be like,
I want to wear out my voice. My balls is hot. Oh,
God, here we go. All right, we're going to take a break real quick. When we come back, we're going to talk about a little high school recruiting. Back. Welcome back, everybody, from the break. Paul Rodriguez Show coming out of Studio 44. It is Friday, February 26th, man. I'm feeling good. I don't know about you all, but trying to get my sleep pattern back online. It's getting, it's a little wonky right now. I don't know if it's going to be a short-term fix, long-term fix, but with the weekend coming up, it's probably going to be a little bit of a challenge because I'm probably going to be staying up as like I usually am and just hanging out more just to have fun. All right, everybody, let's get back into the high school recruiting. Man, Baylor University coming in to Hendrickson Hawks out of Pflugerville, offering the big 6'4", 250-pound defensive tackle, earning all district honors. Mr. Cedric Roberts was offered today by Baylor, and as soon as he was offered by Baylor, he fully committed. Class of 22. I saw the young man's tape. I reviewed it 6 or 7 times. Some folks have him rated as a 3-star defense tackle. I went in, I saw the burst. I saw the violent hand movement, which was awesome to see out of your defensive tackles. We gave him the 4-star go, and I got a feeling with that 4-star go and the Baylor commitment, the Big 12 is going to be put on notice. Sarkisian, I hope you paid attention because you may have lost on another defensive tackle in the Austin area. Maybe you can kind of make up some ground. I do know with the University of Texas, Sarkisian did get a couple of big-time commits recently. Jaden Blue, the running back, who was a 4-star, got bumped up to a 5-star. So there's a lot of big-time talent coming into Austin proper outside of the city limits.
He got bumped up by who?
He got bumped up by 24/7 Sports.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they like the gold standard?
Apparently, that's the rumor. And, there's another one out there, but I try not to give them too many props. Because if they start giving Recon Athlete props, it's a different kind of story. But right now, I think that secretly they probably, creep on what's going on because, they have their people. They have their minions, their little bots out there kind of monitoring the Twitter waves and seeing what's being dropped. And speaking of dropping, today, Dabo Swinney thought it wise to come into Westlake and offer the 2-time 6A state champion quarterback Clay Klubnik out of Westlake to give him a full ride scholarship to Clemson University. That dropped about 4 hours ago, so we made it good on that. Both of those posts can be seen on Recon Athlete on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Those posts are ready to go. They're there to go witness. And Cade is a 5-star kid. Some people, the standards have him as a 4. I have him a 5, and that's fine. It is what it is. Probably before his senior year, they'll go ahead and maybe give him the 5th star, what have you. They do put it at certain dates, certain times. If they know, they probably have too many scouts who are covering a kid, and they're like, hey, y'all really got to give this kid a certain, ranking. They'll bump him up, randomly. But for most times, there's a certain date, and I'm not giving out that date because I just don't think that's pertinent information for everybody else. If you'd like to go figure it out, that's great, but I'm not giving that information out. Also, Will Fisher, the kicker out of Rouse, Aurora University came in and offered him. He's a kicker/punter. And then also the quarterback, Drew Henson out of Rouse, Aurora thought it fit to go ahead and offer him as well while they were there scouting Will Fisher, the kicker. So the quarterback and the kicker for Rouse picking up offers from Aurora University. And it's good. That's a Division II school. So it's good to see, the smaller schools coming in to get talent and trying to recruit that talent, especially for the 21 class. Because right now, if you haven't committed or signed your national letter of intent, you still have that opportunity to be recruited and see what school is going to be the best fit for you. And a lot of times, I'll tell people this very openly, if you don't feel comfortable with the university or the university you want hasn't come to get you, just wait, be patient. But eventually you're going to have to decide on where you want to go. And eventually you're going to have to decide whose offer you're going to accept and move forward with, because sometimes your dream school may not come. Well, but for Cedric Roberts, his dream school did come, and they offered and he committed. So good on them. Congratulations to everybody who picked up those offers today as well. Let's transition into the NFL with the Houston Texans. All-Pro center Nick Martin, brother of Zach Martin of the Dallas Cowboys, both played at Notre Dame. Nick Martin was released today to make cap room for I don't know who, in addition to Duke Johnson, the running back, which is not as much as an important role compared to Nick Martin, but that move by Nick Martin and Duke Johnson being released by the Houston Texans, I think is for Nick especially is a travesty. Your Deshaun needs more help, and you're taking away one of his best offensive linemen, his center, to make room for God knows who. Maybe Easterby has a connection, a line to the man upstairs, and he knows something we don't. Because right now, the purging of all the people who Deshaun Watson is comfortable around in Houston have been released or let go, or given their pink slips to take a hike out of town.
You know what I hear every time some Houston Texan news drops as of late?
And how do you feel?
What do I hear in my head?
What do you hear?
Dun, 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 dun.
Well, it is a bit of a clown show for sure. But again, these individuals who are running the show, they get paid millions and millions of dollars to make certain decisions. And if they feel they're making those decisions properly, great, good on them. But as of right now, if you wanted your franchise player and Deshaun Watson to stay, it would make sense to keep people that he likes around. So logically, I don't really understand what they're doing. It'll be interesting to kind of see who gets replaced, because you're not going to go find a guy like Nick Martin in the draft and have him come in and produce as quickly as he did for the Houston Texans. And that relationship between center and quarterback is going to be one of the most important, just to have a connection and a rhythm while they're trying to win ball games. And if you're taking that guy away, I mean, in addition to getting rid of a weapon like Duke Johnson, now granted, Duke Johnson isn't what he was in Cleveland, but he's a lot better than David Johnson, who was there and getting hurt, every 4 plays.
It's crazy because it's almost like they expect him to stay, Deshaun Watson. It's almost like they're not like, fuck you, we have a backup plan.
Do you think,
know what I mean?
You kind of makes it sound, when I think about this and I just kind of think outside of the box, maybe they're trying to get Deshaun to quit, to retire. And the reason I say that is so that they can recoup that money, and then they can they're basically going nuclear and gonna just blow the whole thing up, metaphorically speaking, and then start anew like they did in 2002. Maybe that's Cal McNair trying to have this team reboot completely, like a hard reboot, so that he can build the team like he believes his dad built the team. But if that's the case, man, that was 20 years ago. You're not doing what your dad did, and you're obviously not making the same decisions that your dad made whenever he was opening the expansion Houston Texans at NRG Stadium. I just don't understand what would motivate you to be a part of an organization or run an organization into the ground for the likeliness of the guy you're listening to in Easterby. And I know it's tough. Like, if it was me, if I was Dave Culley, I would have never taken that damn job. If I was Nick Caserio, I would have never taken that GM position, because you have 2 Looney Tunes in the front office and the owner, and in this, I guess, little birdie who thinks, he was a former chaplain. Easterby was a former chaplain with New England. And now he wants to make personnel decisions. You are out of your brain. You are literally like the Big Lebowski. You're out of your element, Donnie. You're out of your fucking element.
How do you get that far, anyways? Like,
he's a great salesman. Have you ever seen his stuff on Twitter?
No.
So he's a pastor, and so with his public speaking ability and his salesmanship, he has sold the mind of Cal McNair to make personnel issues and have these. And he's gained the trust of Cal McNair, is what I should say, to make personnel decisions in a multi-billion-dollar industry. This isn't 1940, 1930, 1920, with George Halas running the Chicago Bears as the owner and the head coach. This isn't the same time and day. You need to do things properly. You set a committee of former players and former head coaches in the NFL, and when they came to you to make a coaching decision, you crumbled up their opinions and threw them in the file 13 in the damn trash. We're talking about Tony Dungy. We're talking about Andre Johnson, Hall of Famer. And you're not going to listen to them? And then you're going to get rid of all of the pieces that built your team to play in the divisional championship last year? You're foolish. You're out of your mind.
To this day. Keep doing it.
Oh, man. I don't know. I'm just – it's mind-boggling. It's like, what are you going to do next? You're going to say, oh, Deshaun, we're going to release you. We're going to just release you and let you clear waivers. You can go wherever you want. I mean, that's kind of what's next. I mean, JJ's gone. Your best offensive lineman outside of Laramie Tunsil is gone. One of your running backs is gone. Who's your receiver? Will Fuller? I'm going to pull my hamstring on a 9-route Fuller? Give me a break, bro.
The 9 route.
It's foolish. I'm telling about that 9 route. I know these things. I synced it. All right, y'all. It is 31 minutes after the hour. Let me get back into the microphone so y'all can hear what I'm saying. We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We have that video mocked up. I'm not telling you it's coming now, but I'm telling you that it's coming soon. Go ahead and take a bathroom break, change a diaper, get a snack, do what you got to do. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Paul Rodriguez Show. We were just kind of talking a little bit about hardware. We got some things coming up for you all, for our followers, for our viewers, for our, our ride or dies. Is there like a R2D2? Is that what it would be? R2D2? RTD? Ride or die? ROD? How would you
call them Paulinites.
Paulinites? That sounds too weird. We have to come up with a different... y'all come up with a name for yourselves, because I don't... Paulinites sounds too weird.
What did you call Tom Cruise's minions?
The minions. I call everybody minions because I don't know what their names are. I was like, your minions. You got 24/7 Rivals minions. I don't give a shit personally, just to be honest with you.
You got people that ride or die for 24/7?
Oh, dude. You got people who go out of their way to tag the top recruiters, like the recruiting analysts at 24. You got people who will go and be like, blah, 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 at blah, 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 tweet picture. It's like, you're literally giving these people information for free. It's like, okay, cool. I mean, we have a couple of those for recon. Don't get me wrong. We have a couple, but they have them or they could be paid by 24/7 all over the state. But the kids really they really respect 24/7 whenever they're kind of getting that. Whenever they get upgraded, that's really when they're like, oh, all about it.
I wanted to talk about real quick.
Yeah.
Jackie Edwards Jr. Is that his name?
Yeah.
I saw that he had gotten it's like an Eagle Scout in Boy Scouts, I believe it was.
Yeah, bro. What about it?
I don't know. I was
once an Eagle, always an Eagle. I'm an Eagle Scout.
Are you really?
Yeah. Once an Eagle, always an Eagle.
I was like, that's pretty cool because, I mean, in my opinion, like the whole Scout thing is kind of like, people are kind of like.
There's a blemish on it for sure.
Yeah, they're not too fond of it.
There's a blemish.
I just think it's cool to pursue that and go full through the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a road, man. It is at that time when I was 18, and for I don't know how it was for Jackie, but I got an opportunity to interview Jackie on Lion Pride Sports Broadcasting with shout out to Emilio and Tom, Rosie. You know who I'm talking to, Rosie. You know who it is.
Alberto Del Frito.
That's right. No cheap chips, son. I don't know, dude. That's so funny. Anyways, getting back to Jackie, a great young man, and it was really fun to see him get that offer to Texas Wesleyan and kind of go to the next level. Now, again, Caleb Jennings, I believe his father is a barber here in town, but and I played with his dad. When his dad was a senior, I was a sophomore, and we played on varsity together. Anyways, they're going to be up there in Fort Worth together, so that'll be cool for Jackie to know somebody while he's already going up there. And then to have that support system whenever you're pretty much far from home is also good to have somebody to kind of lean on or a confidant to kind of trust with. But getting back to the Eagle Scout, it's a very tedious process because you have to earn a certain amount of ranks and badges before you're eligible to even apply to become an Eagle. You have to go through all of these different challenges. I'm going to try to use the most politically correct terminology. You go through all these challenges and then you overcome those challenges. And once you reach those achievements, we'll call them achievements. Once you reach those achievements, then you can apply to become an Eagle Scout. And that application has to go before your council, in wherever your council is out of. Each region will have a council. And once it's approved, you pretty much write a business plan. Because I remember, shout out to Papa Romeo helping me with my Eagle Scout write-up. You do that write-up, and then the write-up has to be approved. If it's not approved, they send you to go do revisions. And then once the revisions are complete and then it's approved, then you move forward with the project. And that's, you got to map out the logistics. You got to map out, what tools you're going to use. And then once you're done with the project, you got to write a wrap-up. You got to basically wrote what didn't happen from the plan and then how you overcame those difficulties. And then once that's all approved, you can kind of, do your ceremony. But for Jackie to kind of get that, it's very awesome. Shout out to 215. That's the troop. they were our rivals whenever I was doing my thing, my thizang. I was a cool Boy Scout though, man. I was different. I was complicated. I was complex, balling on Friday nights, Tuesday nights, hanging with the young guys, and because I was a young guy, and I remember then kind of learned these skills. And let me tell you what, y'all can badmouth Boy Scouts all you want, but last week when the shit hit the fan and you needed these survival skills, I was prepared and I was ready.
That's what I was gonna say. You weren't worried last week, were you?
Man, I wasn't worried for nothing. And if worse came to worse, we're taking the chainsaw outside. We're cutting down some trees. We'll put them in the fireplace if the electricity goes out. And then here's another thing too. And I'll be done after this. Last Thursday, I went to go get some supplies, and I made sure to buy like a 20-pound bag of charcoal. So in case something did happen, I'm gonna fire up the grill outside and cook if I need to. I always got to have supplies around, just because you just don't know what's gonna happen. Yep. But shout out to Jackie Edwards Jr. getting his Eagle Scout, and also committing to play football at Texas Wesleyan University. Man, his outlook, man, is so bright. Shout out to Noah Garcia, also going to play at Hardin-Simmons. Those two young men were pretty much the reason for the success Lockhart had last year, and some bumps in the road this past year. I know you spoke with Tom Dunn, and their margin of victory was so close that if the ball goes a different way, they could have easily been 7-3 or 7-2 on the year, and that's how close it was for a lot of those games. Outside of Dripping Springs, and outside of Buda Johnson, they were in all those games, and it was fun to kind of see them, compete. Especially, I got to watch them on Lion Pride Sports Broadcasting. We were grateful to be a sponsor for them. Recon Athlete to be a sponsor for them. But let's transition. You got any more questions about that before we transition?
No.
You sure?
Well,
you look like you have one. That's what I'm asking.
How do you? I mean, it's hard to like tell people like, dude, we can easily. So they were what, 0-10?
Yeah, they didn't win a game.
How could you like? Okay, you could tell somebody like we could easily be 8-2, right? But I mean, when the games are that close, you know what I mean? Like,
it's going to come down to field position, and it's going to come down to turnovers. And a lot of times, field position gets overlooked, and a lot of people can easily ask themselves, well, if they were so close, how come they didn't win? It's like, well, maybe they had to start at their own 30 and go 70 yards to score a touchdown, but their opponent only had to go 40 yards to score a touchdown. Yeah. And so that time of possession and the field position is going to be pivotal, so that a team that has to go longer has a less likelihood of scoring points, rather than compared to the team that has to go a shorter distance and has a greater odds to score as they get down there. They had injuries. There was times where a couple of players were out for whatever reason, and I don't think Lockhart played a comprehensive game with all of their stars at 100%. And that's not anybody's fault. That's just how the cookie crumbled. And the reason I say that is because the year before they were so successful, and Jackie was the quarterback. So anybody who can tell me, well, this and that and blah blah, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. I go, if you really want to come debate it and break it down, I'll handle you. I'll sit you down and I'll put out the facts, and I'm gonna set you straight before you walk out the door. But I'm gonna school you on how it happened and why it happened. So if you don't like facts, you might as well start walking, because I'm gonna make you cry with the facts. All right, moving forward. That was the Canelo segment for Paul Rodriguez show. Dude, Canelo's gonna knock this dude out anyways. It doesn't matter.
There's not much to say about it, right?
The thing about it is that DAZN. So DAZN, they have you can do a monthly subscription or annual one-time payment. But I think this fight, they're making you pay a pay-per-view fee.
Is he still with DAZN?
I think De La Hoya had to like get down on one knee and beg Canelo to come back, because I think he wanted to do his own promotion, and he needs that name. He needs Ryan Garcia to stay. Because if Canelo leaves, De La Hoya's the new golden boy, and Garcia is gone, because Canelo and Garcia are tight.
I almost refuse to pay for a Canelo pay-per-view. I mean, come on, it's gonna be
Again,
one-sided.
what if he fought Earl Spence?
All right, now we're talking.
Yeah, now we're talking, right? But
Or if he does a third one with
that's
Gennady
garbage,
Golovkin.
bro. Nobody wants to see Triple G
Hey.
Canelo 3. Nobody wants to see that because it's going to be the same shit that happened last time. It's either going to be a split draw or a draw. That's what's just going to happen.
Yeah, you're right.
There's too much corruption in boxing. I said it. I don't care.
Yeah, there is.
There's a lot.
Yeah, he got screwed. Triple G got screwed out of the first one. Definitely.
I think he got screwed out of both of them.
Okay.
Personally. And the thing about it is that if they fought again, Canelo's going to be in his early 30s, maybe mid 30s, and Triple G's going to be 50 years old. Not really, but he's going to be in his late 40s. It doesn't make sense for them to fight him. The fight that makes sense is Earl Spence Jr. and Canelo at Jerry World. That needs to happen. And I would pay $99.99 for that. I would. I'd pay $100. That would be epic. That would be the fight of maybe the decade, maybe the century so far.
Can I come over?
Yeah, man. If they make that happen, I'll be like, James, you're probably gonna want to watch this fight because it's gonna be a hell of a fight. And dude, and Earl Spence to come away from that wreck. Did you see that footage?
No, I did not.
My God. It makes sense how intoxicated, what his blood alcohol level was. It makes sense because there's no way a normal human, a sober human, would have been able to survive the literal roundabout from front to back it did in the streets, coming around that corner. His body just had to been jello. Like, he had to been that inebriated to where his body was jello. Because if you tighten up, you're going to break something or something's going to get injured. He walked away unscathed.
Hey, man, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. All right, folks, we're going to take a break real quick, 47 minutes after the hour. When we come back, we'll talk about Rosenstrunk. I think I said that right.
Yeah.
In the main event for the UFC, not a championship fight, but at the main event for the UFC tomorrow. And then get ready because the surprise is coming for those who stuck around. Let's do it.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm here at my boy John's house. John's house right there. Anyways, he's the only person I know who plays Madden more than anybody else I know 24/7. You know, so I bet you I'm gonna knock on his door. We're gonna go inside and see what he's doing. Let's see what he's doing. What you doing? Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
What you think I'm doing? Shut that door, man. There's a glare on the TV, baby. Miss that tackle. What's your problem?
My bad, dog. What's up?
Just chilling, man. You trying to see where the real champions lay at or what? So we lay that shit down. Alright, all day, online. Outside the house, we'll play outside. That's how crazy we are. We'll put the TV, put the extension cord outside. We'll play outside, even on the rainy days. That's how crazy we are. Shoot, I play probably about 5, close to 10 games a day. Anybody that's down to play, I play instantly. I don't care who it is. I don't care if they're the best in the world. I don't care if they're an online gamer. I'll play them all day, every day. You want to play at 5 o'clock in the morning? I'll play at 5 o'clock in the morning. I've done about 8 times already. Won maybe about 90% of them. Champions always lose sometimes, but we win more. He didn't score. He didn't score though. That's the thing. I stopped him from scoring. I didn't say I was gonna stop him at the line of scrimmage. I stopped him from scoring.
Yeah.
Shoot. Did I win? Did I pick the right plays? I know how to strip that ball. I know how to pick that ball. I love defense. I'm not that good at defense. I score a lot more. But I just see, like the previous play, he got on the 1, and I stopped him like I said I was. He didn't score. Now this is the time to shine right here. He came up the gut. Our guy was just waiting. It's like, no, that's my ball. See that? You see that? You zoom in. That's what happens when you're trying to score in my end zone. Even though it says Chargers, it should say Falcons. That's what happens. That ball comes out. Like I said, my ball. You see my foot fell on. I'm on the 1. I'll break loose out of that. It ain't no problem. It ain't no problem, goddamn. Told him I was gonna stop him. That's what I did. That I beat him, and I can sit there and laugh in front of their face because I just won, and they're still gonna be my friend afterwards because they know that they want to eat. They're gonna have to lose. No, scratch that, dude. Edit that. Let's redo it.
I only got like 1 minute, fool.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm gonna make shit up. What you call? 1 play, touchdown.
Boy,
Maybe.
I know you run that 9 route. I know you running that 9 route. I don't even know why you try. I don't even know why you try.
Double coverage, everything. Like I said, 1 play, touchdown. Like I said, he saw that I was running the 9 route. I did it anyway. He had double coverage, and I scored like I said.
I got something for that.
I'm a man play. Shoot, not really, because I like cracking skulls. But the thing is funny, whenever I like that hit stick up on the game, it feels like I'm doing it. So it's all pretty much similar. So I like playing it, and I like playing that.
Oh, son. Quentin who? Quentin Jammer. That's a TD, baby.
His knees hit before he went in the end zone. That's all I got.
You can't challenge the play anyway. You can't. It's too late.
Shit. What the hell?
You can't challenge it.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't. You can't challenge it.
You can challenge that his knees hit before he went
You can't
inside.
challenge it. It's
Trying
too
to
late.
screw me. Those are the glitches that are in Madden that everybody's seen on the internet, on YouTube and shit. I'm telling you right now, his knees hit and they still giving goddamn.
Watch this the replay. Let's see where the ball is at. Look at that pick.
Look at this. Look.
Oh yeah. Where's his knee? Where's the ball? Where's his knee? Where's the ball?
So good.
His knee was crossing the play, and that's where his knee was at.
I win, don't I? What you talking about? Am I the best? You shouldn't even ask me a question like that. I win, so I'm the best. Shoot, any day, all day, every day. I'm always ready. I carry my remote everywhere I go. If I'm at work and somebody want to challenge me, I'll clock out and go play them. It don't matter. I'll clock out and go play. I might lose about 30 minutes of time and a half. It's all gravy though. I'm gonna get that win, and I'm still gonna get paid. I'll make it up tomorrow.
All right, John. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. See that stuff? That's what I do all day, baby. All day. I serve sausage. That's what I really do all day. It's my life.
Yes, Yes, this is the Paul Rodriguez show, and it doesn't matter where the knees were. All that matters is you couldn't make the replay, and that was a touchdown all day, every day, any day, however the man said it. It was a touchdown, and that's all that matters, folks. That was a little bit of a look into how we spent our weekends back in the day. That's a very young, unpolished Paul Rodriguez there who hadn't found his purpose yet. But we're back on the grindstone now, baby. We're ready to get things locked, cocked, and ready to rock as we move forward. James, what is your takeaway from that video? Nothing but laughs. What the hell?
I'm glad. Shout out to Eder Fernandez for catching that moment in time. I remember when you guys both lived at that place, right?
Yeah, we did.
And so I know you through UFC fight nights at John's house.
Yeah, that's where we kind of first met, and because you were working with John at the time.
Yes.
And me and John were roommates back in the day, and yeah, man, I was never a Madden player, and then when I moved in with John, John would literally, like, before he would go to work, he's up at like 4:45 in the morning. He would do his workouts, and then he would just you make him a plate of breakfast, and he would play a game of Madden, and then he would come home from lunch, play a game of Madden. And then when he came home from work, he'd spend like 2 hours playing Madden, if it wasn't like wrestling night or something like that, getting his promo work in as the night continues down into the night as it moves forward. John was the Madden king, though. But let me tell you something, boy. Let me tell you something. When I got that interception with that pick six, son, I know you caught me on that 1 yard goal line, but gosh dang it, man. LT didn't have enough speed. But that cornerback sure did. I don't care who it was. I got in the end zone.
Dude, so he chased you down from that one.
And I think he cheated. He cheated, man. How did he catch me? I had easily the angle broken, and he like picks some dude and hits a turbo extra trigger. I don't know what he's doing.
If you look closely, I honestly think you could have went to the left a little more. You had some space.
Now we're gonna nitpick on my play.
Hey, man.
Did I score? Let me ask you the question. Was it a touchdown?
Well,
was it reviewable?
No, it wasn't that one play.
It was not reviewable. It was pick six.
Well, it wasn't that one play because he was like, I told you I wasn't going to stop him from the line of scrimmage.
So what happened
I stopped him from the touchdown.
So what happened is I threw the ball out of the backfield to LaDainian Thompson because John would love to play zone coverage, and I knew he would never play man to cover the running back out of the backfield. So I would run my guys off, and I would throw out of the backfield, and I'd easily get like at least 20 yards. Well, I broke a tackle, and then I had the angle, but his DBs came across the field to catch me at the one. And then, of course, as y'all saw in the video, LT was tired, and LT fumbled like in real life. But
he said that he knows how to pick that ball, and he knows how to strip that ball.
And he does because he's a cheater. He knows how to strip the ball using them triggers and the 1987 buttons with the super code, pulling out the wizard out of 97.
Oh, man.
I'm just saying. Man, this show's off the rails, bro.
He pulled out the Game Shark or what?
Dude, he got that Nintendo Super Glove. That's what he did. I believe he has one of those. I wouldn't doubt it.
Thanos before his time?
Dude, that thing. Do you remember that movie, The Wizard?
Yeah.
With that little kid and they're going to Las Vegas for the tournament. Yeah. And then they meet that little dipshit in the middle of the desert. He's like, I got the game glove. I'm like, dude, shut the. Now that I look back on it, back then when I was 10, it was a cool movie. Now as an adult, I'm like, look at these losers over here.
Maybe that's why he was like that.
Yeah, maybe that's why. That's probably what he was trying to let everybody know with his PS2 with Vince Young on the cover. And everybody, look, John has current gaming systems. It's just the PS2 was the only thing out back in 2007, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
I think that's the year 2007.
I had just graduated.
Pobrecito mijo. He's so young. He's not young.
Take me back.
He's got you got like 4 or 5 kids, don't you?
I have a whole basketball team.
You got family, y'all.
I have a basketball team and I have one on the bench.
Dude, you got 6 man. So you saying you got 6 man of the year award coming is what you telling me?
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to James and the family. I see y'all. UFC. What are they calling these UFCs at the Apex Arena? What are they called? Like UFC Fight Night? UFC Las Vegas? Because
they're called UFC Fight Nights.
Because it used to be like during the pandemic, it was like UFC Las Vegas 1, Las Vegas 2, and then they go to Dubai or What the hell was that island called? Not Fight Island. It had a name, a proper name. I can't remember off the top of my head. Somebody probably knows it out there.
It wasn't it like the United Arab Emirates?
Yeah, it's in Dubai, but
Yeah.
it can't be in Dubai proper because like that's illegal. Like in their country, the street racing, that hotel, like that's frowned upon over there.
Did you hear real quick, little off topic? Did you hear that they were tossing around the idea of having Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury on a carrier, like on a boat in the ocean?
I'm on a boat. No, I did not hear that.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Is this going to be like an underground fight? Like only the elites can go watch this, or is it going to be like pay-per-view?
Yeah. I mean, it would be like advertised like on pay-per-view, like how the UFC has it now, but of course on like tickets would be like $50,000.
How the hell are they going to broadband that signal from a carrier? Like what do you got, like CIA government type of internet that they can just like shoot out to the satellite and disperse?
Well, what are you gonna do whenever the waves start getting choppy? They're gonna be all
I mean, I think with that kind of big carrier, like that stuff just doesn't happen.
No.
Unless you're like in a monsoon and I don't know. Government's got all kinds of technology I don't know of.
I mean, Joshua versus Tyson Fury, sign me up. I want to see it.
I want to, if it's gonna be, if it was in London proper, if it was like in London, I would be like, dude, that's sick. And they do things differently over there. I don't know. Have you seen a production
Yes.
from over the pond? I can't even say that.
Sky Sports?
Yeah, Sky Sports.
Yes, I
but
have.
it's different, right? It's more wrestling intros, like WWE style intros. And I think I'm like, why doesn't the United States do this kind of stuff? It's literally,
Are you a fan of it?
yeah, because it's like a movie. It's like Rocky IV when Carl Weathers and James Brown is like singing "Coming to or Living in America." He's doing his whole song and dance. It's like I want that kind of intro, you know. And then you have the antagonist rising from the basement, and you got Carl Weathers, doing his song and dance with the Uncle Sam costume on.
So like whenever Tyson Fury came out and they were carrying him on that throne, you were like, oh, I like this.
No, I don't remember seeing that one.
Against Deontay Wilder too?
He came out on a throne.
Yeah. And he was being carried, like people were carrying him, so he was just like sitting on the throne.
I don't remember. I don't remember that. I mean, are you sure that I remember the extravagant masks that Wilder would come out with, but I don't remember a throne. Yeah, I guess no. The only reason I brought it up is because I think I saw Parker fight Anthony Joshua, and they had like the pyro and the smoke, and it was like a long ring walk, and it was like it reminded me of like WWE wrestling. I was like, cool, this is fun. But I mean, look, man, you don't need to be who was that wrestler who got carried? I guess whoever would win King of the Ring, they would kind of Macho Man Randy Savage. Yeah. He would be like carried in by those goons. Nah, man, you don't.
You're a wrestling fan?
Yeah, like I mean, but see, I'm kind of like I've grown out of it, and I try to watch it sometimes, but like with there's no fans, it's kind of pointless because I grew up like with Stone Cold Steve Austin and those guys, but it was they called it the Attitude Era. Yeah. So I would like watch those dudes and I would lose my stuff, but then I was a WCW guy, so like the Nitro Girls. The NWO Wolfpack. Dude, I was Wolfpack, man. That's the way I rocked.
So you were all hype whenever like NWO invaded, like, or I think it was
when I went to college, it all just stopped. So I was in 2002. I'm gonna date myself. So when I went to college, it just stopped. I didn't watch it anymore. I don't know. I thought it was childish, and I think I was arrogant, and so I was like, "Oh man, screw this, fuck this. I'm not watching this."
You were listening to what other people say.
Yeah, bro. I hadn't found my purpose yet. I was impressionable, as they would say. But I really enjoyed the WCW product because it was more extravagant. It was more like pyrotechnics. They were compensating. Now that I look back, I'm like, dude, you are compensating. But looking at it now, it's still like, to me, was like my favorite. I think maybe the other thing too was because Papa Romeo took me to WCW events over WWE events. Cause like whenever we were in San Antonio, and I think I was like 14 or 15. And dude, I remember like who had come out? The Giant had come out.
The Big Show.
Yeah, the Big Show. The Big Show. He was called the Giant of then.
Yeah.
The Big Show. And dude, he was like long hair, big old goatee, like long goatee, and he was like super young. And I was just like, dude, and we were up there. We had decent seats, but I was still like, that's a big ass dude from the seats. So I like
Your dad
wrestling.
was a fan too?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he grew up in like, different kind of era. It was more
The Von
regional.
Erichs and all that.
Yeah, more regional Texas. He would know more. I don't really know, but I like the extravagant, man. I like the show. I like the pyro. I like, I want that kind of production. If I'm going to pay $70 for a pay-per-view, you better make it entertaining enough for me to want to pay for it again. And so, getting back into boxing, it's so controlled, it's so controlled on the outcome. You're like, do I really want to watch this? Nah, I'm going to watch, like tomorrow I'm going to watch the UFC because I don't know what's going to happen. I know that the likeliness of a knockout is probably more likely with the UFC compared to a pay-per-view event for boxing. Now, I enjoy watching the boxing for like the no-name guys, like the guys who are on the come up, because they're hungry and they're like, I'm gonna knock your ass out. So that's kind of just where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
It's good times.
When I was growing up, it was, dude, I like, it was like a wrestling pay-per-view was just like, we just never got pay-per-view.
Yeah, we did. When I was a kid, we never got them either. That's just the way it was.
So I'll flip through the TV guide, and I was like, oh my God, like Stone Cold versus The Rock and WrestleMania or whatever. Oh man, I gotta wait till Monday Night Raw to hear about this.
Yeah, you gotta wait till Raw to hear it. And I remember some guys, they would call each other Saturday or Sunday morning, and they'd be like, what happened? So the kid who got the pay-per-view, they'd be like, what? Oh, this is what happened, and this is what happened. But then when you get old enough, you realize like that's all scripted too. I mean, I'm not saying it's fake. I'm just saying it's scripted. Mm-hmm. Like they know what the outcome's going to be. And I think that's what really killed it for me. I was like, if these people already know what the story they want to tell you, I'm out. It's not true competition anymore for me.
Well, unless you're a Bret Hart and a Montreal Screwjob, you're getting beat by Bret Hart.
I don't.
No, it's the other way around.
No, I was okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's when Shawn Michaels Bret Hart spit in the face of Vince McMahon because he didn't know that he was going to drop the belt that night. And
so that was unscripted?
Unscripted.
Okay.
Bret Hart was going to go to... Well, actually, after he did that, he spit in the face of Vince McMahon, and then he wrote in the air, he was like, WCW, like letting everyone know that he was going to go over. Because they had speculated, but Vince McMahon, supposedly he was supposed to keep his belt. I don't know. There's it's a Montreal screw job. If you want to look into it, go ahead.
All right. Back to the UFC because I don't know anything about that matchup for anything. All I know is Bret Hart was cool. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Yep.
Out of where is he from? Montreal, Canada?
Yeah.
Is that real? Is it Montreal or am I just making shit up?
Yeah.
He's from Canada. He's a foreigner. That's all I know. Yeah. He wasn't no Shawn Michaels straight out San Antonio, Texas.
Nope.
That's all I got to say. But what do you like with this card tomorrow? Do you like the heavyweight matchup with Rosenstruck and what's that guy's name? I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
I got it somewhere right here.
Kane.
Carol Kane. I like it. I got Rosenstruck. He's been pretty relentless. And although like I'll be honest, I've never heard of this other guy.
Bro, I was looking at Gaines like jiu-jitsu, and this dude, if it goes to the ground, it's gonna be a problem. Because this dude is 6'6", 250 pounds, and he looks like a defensive end from the NFL. He's just like he's got this naturally athletic build, and he is a monster.
Yeah. So you don't really find like a whole lot of heavyweights who are real versed in jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Like Fabrizio Verdum is one of the like greatest. Like he'll just take you down right away and submit you. So like these guys that are versed in jiu-jitsu, like you got to watch out for them because most of the heavyweights are just swinging and knock your head off.
Like Derek Lewis.
Yes, like Derek Lewis. So I mean, if that is the case, yeah, Rosenstruck he might have a tough night, but.
The first highlight on Gaines' reel, heel hook. heel hook, tap out. Bro. This monster of a human being with no hair, bald head, just juiced. He's probably not juiced, but he looks juiced. He don't look like Brock Lesnar juice, but he is like built. I'm like, this dude's gonna break his ankle. He literally got his heel and pulled it back there and just all in. I was like, God damn, he literally got his heel and he's just like as fast as he could because
instantly.
Yeah, Herb Dean had like grab his ankle because he didn't know if it was like broke or not. And luckily it was all good. And I was just like, this is the dude who's gonna fight Rosenstrunk. And Rosenstrunk, he's like a brawler, right?
Yes.
He's a stand-up guy.
Yeah, he's a stand-up guy.
Oh man, that's gonna be interesting tomorrow night. What else catches your fancy here?
Other notable one right here is Angela Hill.
The females.
12-9, women's strawweight. That's 115 pounds, I believe.
Them lights.
Yes. My favorite.
Well, thank you.
Fighting Ashley Yoder 8-6, but there's something about Angela Hill. She's just a draw, you know. Although the record isn't quite nearly there, but she has the intensity and she has the look, you know, to go far if things go her way.
Isn't she like a legacy? Like didn't she have like a dad or a family member who was a fighter too? I think I've heard that name synonymous with previous combat sport professional. Because they were making a big to-do about that Hill woman and her having like this really good stand-up game. And I don't know if I was maybe misheard something, but that was just something that kind of stuck out in my brain. Is that something you see there?
Let me see.
But for 12-9, I mean, that's not bad for a female record, especially in that lightweight. Now, I wonder if these are going to be prelims or if that's the main card. It looks like it's the main card.
Yeah, that's part of the main card. So it just says here, Angela Hill, she was 1-0 as pro. She was the first African-American woman to compete on The Ultimate Fighter and to actually fight in the UFC.
All right.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. What about this dude, how do I say that? That Afghani dude. I don't know.
I need to call my friend Jason Delgado for pronunciations.
He's fighting Kylov, bro. Is this going to be something worth remembering? You did pretty good last time breaking down those fights. Like, the outcomes were almost like 90% of what you said. I was like, damn, I should put some money on this.
Magamodev.
Is he one of the guys in Khabib's camp?
He looks like
He looks like he would be, right? I mean, he's kind of got that build. You know, like Eastern Bloc build, but still like in the Soviet Union, wrestling bears as they grow up.
So he's a champion, light heavyweight world champion at World Fighting Championship.
The hell does that even mean?
ACMAT. I guess that's, you know,
that's the promotion
over there from where he's from.
That's the promotion.
So he was basically where he's from. He's the best at his division.
Oh, okay.
You know, so yeah, I would definitely look out for him. He is 12-1.
Yeah, he seems to be the
14-1.
He seems to be the main guy on that matchup there.
Yeah.
Where are we putting the money? Where are we putting the money at?
We're putting the money with him.
Well, what about in the main event?
We're going with Rosenstruck.
Man, don't be in here just because you don't know about game. I want you to be honest.
Hey man, put your money where your mouth is.
I mean, I'm not asking you. That's why I'm asking, because you the guy who's supposed to know this.
Yeah.
That's where we riding? Okay, I'm going to ride with James.
Yeah.
I'm going to ride with James.
We're going with that.
With Rosenstrunk. So you telling me it's going to be Derek Lewis, but in a different form with Rosenstrunk, another knockout.
I already told you about Derek Lewis, bro.
We talking about knockouts, or we talking about going the distance with Rosenstrunk? Because nobody thought Derek Lewis, because his balls was hot, was going to get the knockout.
It's going to be a knockout.
So you telling me it's a puncher's chance, or you telling me he's just better fighter?
Okay, so if I'm being honest, completely honest.
There we go.
If he gets taken to the ground, he's going to be in some danger.
Okay.
So if this guy is as good as the ground as you say he is.
I'm just telling you what I saw.
Okay. Then yeah, there is some cause for concerns.
It's gonna be a bad night. Bad night for Well, James says Rosenstrunk's gonna pull the victory. So I mean, I'm just saying, because apparently Blades was the ground guy, and he came in that uppercut. He got caught.
He was a wrestler, but I wouldn't. I mean, Curtis Blades. He's still, you know,
number two in UFC heavyweight. Number 2.
According to these
got
guys,
knocked out.
These guys
got knocked out.
Okay.
All right. Just saying. Got to represent for the Houston, Texas, man. I'm just saying. All right, James.
Plus, my balls is hot.
How's WandaVision? Are you done?
It's good. We got episode 7 going down tonight, or 8. One of the two. There's 2 more episodes left.
I'm blaming you for my Instagram Reels feed because it's just been like Elizabeth Olsen. Because I'm sure Instagram's been hearing us talk about WandaVision, and it's just putting Elizabeth Olsen like in my feed.
Dude, she's hot. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. She's your age, so it's natural. She looks deceptively younger than what she is because she's 31 or 2. And I thought she was like in her mid-20s, but she's because you think about her sisters with Ashley and Elizabeth, or Ashley and Mary-Kate Olsen, and they're, I think, my age. And she came out of nowhere because, of course, they were kid stars with her older sisters as twins. With full house.
How was she never? She never was like.
She was not in the public eye.
No.
She just came out of nowhere, and when she got to be Scarlet Witch. That's kind of what made her.
It came. I'm not gonna lie. It came to light to me 2 days ago on Twitter, and Twitter was freaking out because a lot of people didn't know that she was the younger sister of Mary-Kate.
Yeah, she's younger.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Right.
And I felt stupid when I looked at the pictures of them together.
You couldn't
tell? I was like, oh, yeah. How did I not connect this? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Tell me how you really feel.
Yeah.
So it didn't dawn on you is what you're saying.
No, it did not.
All right.
But I genuinely, I like WandaVision. Hopefully, we can watch it when I get
So
home
when
tonight.
is that set? Like, because it's obviously set. Is it set after Endgame?
Endgame.
It's after Endgame.
So Vision died. Thanos brought him back.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, Vision. Well, if you've seen Endgame, which
Well, I mean, some people may have never seen it.
there
Could be a 10 or 12, 13, 14, 50-year-old who maybe never had access to pay-per-views like us.
If we,
I'm just saying.
If we spoiled Endgame now, I'd be like, dude, you had plenty of time to watch it.
Let me say that's James talking. James's remarks do not reflect the. Go ahead.
So Wanda killed him. So Thanos wouldn't. Okay, so Wanda killed him.
I guess I haven't seen it. You're spoiling it for me right now.
So Thanos wouldn't acquire the time. It was the. I forgot what stone it was. It's the yellow one. Yes.
That little yachty thing in his forehead. I don't know who it is. That makes
the one that powers him.
Okay.
She killed him. Thanos used the time stone, reversed time, brought him back to life, and killed him again by ripping the stone out.
Sucks to be Vision.
Yeah. So she couldn't deal with his death. Apparently, they're madly in love. So she broke in.
Yeah, she killed him. Madly is for sure madly in love.
Yeah. She broke in, retrieved his body, brought him back to life, created what they call a hex. It's like a little town with so much radius, and they're living in that. It's very bizarre, but it's worth the watch.
Pulled a Game of Thrones with Red Woman and Jon Snow. Is that what's going on there?
I never saw Game of Thrones.
Are you what? You've never seen Game of Thrones with the Night King, Cersei Lannister, all of their debauchery? You telling me you've never seen that?
No.
Oh my goodness. Might have to borrow a HBO Max and binge. I binged. Let me put it this way: that show came out in 2011, and I was like, I don't have HBO. I'm poor. HBO. HBO. Momness. And I was like, no, I'm not watching. Nope. And then I had some time in like 2015. I had some time, and I literally binged 7 seasons. Well, this 8th season, you had to wait 2 years for it to come out. So I'm sitting there just like everybody else. And I was like, you turn into a fiend with Game of Thrones. It is unbearable. Like, you have to, I got to watch the next one. I got to watch the next one. All right, y'all. That's your homework for the weekend. If you haven't watched Game of Thrones, watch the first season at least. I don't think James is going to do it because he's probably going to be putting things together if I can guess it. So, James, what are we leaving the people with?
We're leaving the people with, there's been talk about Kobe Bryant being changed to the new logo of the NBA.
Do you think that's really going to happen?
Right off the back, I'd say no, but then again, I always turn to just humans naturally being resistant to change.
Sure.
And if things were to change, like the NBA logo to Kobe Bryant, I wouldn't be mad about it.
I think a lot of people wouldn't either. It'd be a lot of people would want it, and then a lot of people just wouldn't care. I really feel that way.
Yeah. I mean, it's the NBA logo. We're so used to it. So
do you think they would change it to Kobe, or do you think they would just change it to something that's not Jerry West?
It's got to be something to Kobe. It can't just be something other than Jerry West. That logo is so freaking like, what's the proper word? Synonymous.
Antiquated.
With the NBA.
It's old. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Synonymous. Yes. Synonymous.
Yeah. Like you have to have a good reason to change it, and just like everything about Kobe Bryant, you know, the Mamba mentality, you know, to go forward. You know, I'm with it. Yeah.
So you're telling me that you would? I mean, it's so iconic now with.
If
Jordan,
if I had a vote,
if it came down to Jordan's logo and Kobe, a logo of Kobe, not Kobe's logo because it wouldn't work for the NBA,
no.
But some image that they took out and made a shadow of, like Jerry West, off of an image, would it be that image of Kobe or Michael Jordan's infamous dunk with his legs spread open?
I mean, I've asked myself, I'm like, dude, like. So with like Jerry West, so what image of Kobe? And I've seen one, just the way, you know, that he carries himself on the court and stuff. Because when we see that logo, we're like, oh yeah, that's Jerry West. I used to watch him play. That's him. No,
not us.
Yeah, I know it because you know I know that it's a fact. I can be like, yeah, that's Jerry West. So, and with Michael Jordan, there's so many stories of him being an asshole. You know. Like, I mean, to be honest.
But if we're gonna bring people's past up, I mean, the same thing can be said about Kobe and his infidelity, allegedly.
True.
So that's why I'm like, why be the first to why be one to cast the first stone and rather just talk about what they did for the game? I think that's kind of maybe something people may need to have a discussion about because, like, in the media world, nobody's gonna dare bring up what Kobe was allegedly said to have done. Nobody's going to talk about it because it's too disrespectful.
Well, there were people around his death that would bring it up, and of course they were, you know.
Yeah, they're gonna be ostracized. Those individuals, because why are you going to disrespect somebody like that?
Especially at that certain time.
At that time, it doesn't make any sense to do that.
Yeah,
that's extremely disrespectful. Not only to him, but to his daughter who passed away too. It's extremely disrespectful.
I mean, I just think, dude, if you were around Kobe Bryant, you were just made better being around his presence. You were pushed to do better.
Anybody and who's elite is going to have that impact on you.
No.
And I agree with. Let's put it this way: I wouldn't be upset if the NBA chose and voted on making Kobe Bryant the new logo. Like I'd be like, oh, okay, that's cool. But I think it's because I'm indifferent about basketball and like. My team, of course, was okay for a little while with the Rockets, and then now they're just a dumpster fire like the Houston Texans.
Say no more, dude. You're totally invalid.
and so it's like, what the hell's going on in Houston right now? But it's a time where there's a lot of big events that are going on, and it's almost like leaderships are allowing the people who are in leadership positions are allowing for little rumblings to occur, but the people who are in the power, they know, and they're equals at that top level, that elite level, they know they're not gonna allow anything to change. And that's unfortunate for it to happen that way.
Yeah. So to reiterate, like I wouldn't be mad if they didn't change it, but I would be for it if they did, you know, like I wouldn't
You would be in support of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
All right. I can dig it. So what are we leaving the people with?
That?
Nah, man, you got to come up with something like obscure and nonsensical and come on, what do you got?
Come on, man, you can put me on the spot like that.
It doesn't matter where the ball is when the knee goes down. Actually, it really does matter where the knee is or where the ball is when the knee goes down. And yes, it was a 9 route, John. I hope you get better, buddy. We're all praying for you. We'll see you on the flip side. Catch us Monday, 7 p.m. We got more stuff coming. Lots of changes. Shout out to producer James. burning that midnight oil. He's doing really good work. You saw the new setup here with the new cam angle. Maybe y'all enjoy that. Let us know. Send some feedback in the mix. And let us know what topics y'all want us to talk about, if there is a topic. Probably get into some golf. You play golf, James?
I played golf once in my Peter Pan putt.
Hey, man, Top Golf is dope.
I played. I haven't went to
Peter
Top
Pan is one of my first memories of golf in Peter Pan is with Papa Romeo.
Oh.
For real, legit. Shout out Riverside and then Riverside and Lamar. That's what it is. Yeah. I don't know if it's Riverside or not. I'm just saying. ATX baby, we out. Monday at 7. We back.